Great. So I can see that we are live. Thank you so much, Aruma, for facilitating. And hello, everyone. Welcome to the live stream. Really excited to have a chat with Ifrah. I'm sure you guys have seen me talking about it, seen Ifrah talking about it. And I hope we are able to make this discussion really helpful and insightful for you. And you take some really, really good insights out of it. So, my name is Faiza Yousuf. I am a technologist. I've been working in tech for 12 years, and I am a co founder of Caterpillars. We are an accelerator, a career and a business accelerator. Our target audience is mostly women, and we help them scale their businesses and careers. Uh, we have a very, very well known career accelerator program for for our freelancing track, and right now we are in the process of launching our second track that is on product management. So I wanted to basically introduce you guys to our awesome instructors, both Ifrah and Usman. You will hear them here on the platform, and we'll chat with them about their journeys. So, Ifrah, can I have you live also with me?
Yes, I'm right here. Hello, everyone. I hope I am audible to all. Thanks so much, Aruma, for your wonderful guidance. And thank you, Faiza, for hosting me tonight. This is so special. And yes, I'm excited. And let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Caterpillars, I would say. And my name is Ifrah Waqar, as you guys know. Faiza and I started our careers quite around the same time. I've been in tech for almost 12 years now as well. And we've known each other for quite a few years now. A wonderful, wonderful peer. I sometimes aspire to have her work life balance. And she's the only person on earth who could, you know, make me a convert towards Kindle. I wouldn't have gone otherwise. So I owe her as well. And yeah, let's get started. Faiza, on to you.
Great, great. I have no work-life balance. So, if you think I have, you are absolutely wrong. So let's start. Let's start with your introduction, Ifra. So tell people who you are, your maybe your educational background, where do you work right now, what is happening in your life.
Okay. So I am a typical South Asian story. I had no idea what technology was. And I didn't even want to study what I was studying. I did my bachelor's in biotechnology and my master's in medical biotechnology, both from the University of Karachi. It wasn't something I wanted to study. I did it for my mom, out straight, open, out there. I wanted to write. That was my first love. And along as I was growing up, I discovered history and Egyptology to be specific. And I wanted to be an Egyptologist. And what I did is that I applied for the Al Azhar University, Cairo. And I gave an admissions test and everything. I passed, I cleared, and they offered me a full scholarship, 100% scholarship. I was one of the first ever Pakistani applicants they ever had. I guess they took pity on me, I guess. And I was very excited. And then my mom says, "Science it is, my dear, science it is. Either it's science or go home." So, what I did is that I always wanted to write. That was something that was always important to me. So, I struck a deal with her. I said, "All right, I'm going to study science and then I'm going to do what I want." And being the wonderful mother and a typical brown mother that she is, she said, "Yes, go for it. You study science, you get that degree, you get that gold medal, then you get to do anything you want to." So I did that. And I completed my master's. Around 9 days after I submitted my thesis, I turned around and never looked back. Shukar Alhamdulillah, do not regret my decision until this moment in my life. Um, I wouldn't even recall my master's if you ask me now. I started as a copywriter in a production house. It was a good learning experience. I think it was the best decision I ever made in my life because 6 months down the line, I decided to move out. I got a lot of criticism. Everybody told me, "You do not have a degree in mass communication. You do not have a linguistics background, and yet you get to be a copywriter, highest paid writers around the world. You're taking this for granted. But what I realized is that entertainment and media wasn't my cup of tea. All due respect to everyone who's a part of that, takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of you from inside. But it was just not something that I wanted to do in my life. So I moved out, joined a software house, an SEO specific software house, and I started working as an SEO content writer. And best decision of my life, definitely. And just never looked back. I've been in this field for nearly 12 years now. I am currently a product leader or vice president, hierarchy wise, and I take care of communications and product delivery and, of course, product management end to end. And I work at 360 Digital Marketing.
Great, great. So wonderful story, because my background is mostly from tech. I graduated from tech, post graduated from tech, and then um, worked into tech. So there's nothing exciting about it, but really wonderful to know about it. I did not know that, by the way,
Okay.
about your interest, right? So, so why tech? So you're saying that it was the best decision for you to get into SEO and get into tech. So why did you feel that it is something that you enjoy doing? Is it because it's the opportunity was available? Is it because you thought that it's going to make you good money? What was your thinking? What was your thinking behind it?
So honestly speaking, there wasn't a very big thought process behind that. As I told you, I joined as an SEO content writer. So what everybody in the company, including my boss, used to say that content is king, right? And yet the development or the engineering floor, we had two floors. The content team sat on the first, and the engineering team sat on the second floor. And yet every morning when my boss stepped in, he went straight up to the engineers, have the conversations on his Skype. Back then, remember, we had Skype. Um, half of his conversations, engineering, this production, this staging, this. I got so curious about it as to why he constantly keeps saying that content is king, and yet engineering gets all the attention, all the vibes, all the praises. Why so? So anywho, I love reading, you know that. I started reading a bit online, and I've always been the one who takes an initiative, who believes that opportunities do not land just like that, and you need to work out and make it happen for yourself. I've always been that kind of a person. So, lo and behold, one day my boss, just out of the blue, decides to give me a project, a WordPress blog. Okay. Back then, WordPress blog, it was a huge deal. Okay. And this is coming from someone who did not know software past blogspot.com, right? At that time, who knew? At least I didn't know. Okay. So the project happens. It was a very nice process. I was learning, I was understanding, I was coming across terms I hadn't come across before, etc., etc., etc. So on the delivery day, I walk into his cabin, and he asks me, he goes, "Is it live?" And I respond back saying, "Okay, um, I've sent you a link on Skype. Have a review, have a look, share your feedback. And if all goes well, the team is going to push it to production." This sentence coming from someone who a month ago did not know the difference between staging and production. Faiza, I felt so empowered and so vulnerable at the same time. I felt all important, and oh my God, everything is going to come down on my head at the same time. That feeling, honestly speaking, now that I think of it, maybe I was being narcissistic or something, but oh my God, that feeling to be able to say that this thing is ready for your review. And if you say yes, we're going to push it to production. That feeling was just out of this world for me. I, I, I cannot tell you how amazing that feeling was. And a few years down the line, another boss of mine entrusted a whole new department to me. And when I traced back the impact of a customer service KPI back to a feature that wasn't working well on the live website, it was set in stone for me. That investigation that happened from two departments who seemingly do not have any kind of connection with them, it was set in stone for me. I said, this is what I want to do all my life. I'm never going back. I have to do this. The fact that one small feature could make such a big impact on not only my customer services, but my sales at the end of the day as well. Oh, I fell in love with the feeling again. And I think that was the very first day that I explained was something that I enjoyed. But this particular investigation that I did for customer services, the feeling was amazing. I knew that this was something I wanted to do for as long as I can. And along the way, in order to make sure that because I had a background that had nothing to do with software or computer science, along the way, I picked quite a few diplomas and certifications to maybe support my endeavors and support my passion. But yes, that was when I decided I never want to go anywhere else.
Great, great. And absolutely, that feeling is so great when you're able to deliver something, and that for me it was all about showing the customer what you were able to achieve, what you did for them, and then seeing them explore it and say that, oh, it's better than what I expected. So this is something that I heard in my first job, and I was working on a I started as an engineer, then went into quality, and then I was working on a basically a requirement document roadmap type of thing for the customer. So when the software was live, and they were, these were a bunch of lawyers, very very critical people, and they saw it and they were like, it's better than what we expected, and that was it. I knew this is something that I wanted to do. Yeah, right. Absolutely can relate to that. So tell us a
Wonderful.
little bit. Tell us a little bit about your current role, your capacity. So you mentioned that you work as a vice president, but most of your work is around product. So what do you do on day-to-day basis? What kind of products are you handling? What is happening in your work life right now?
Okay. So, as I told you guys, that I take care of communications and product. So, yes, I do wear sort of a multiple hat, if you will. So, I do have multiple teams that I look after. So, this question comes to me a lot as to what you actually do, right? Like what product managers actually do, or what you do currently. So, I would be wrong if I say I build products. Yes, at the end of the day, I help build products. But I think, as my current role, or as where I am in my career at the moment, I build teams. I build processes, and I then empower my team, give them the autonomy to work within those guardrails, because I help them, or I enable my teams to make product decisions that result in unique and creative solutions for the problem at hand. And I love doing that. I absolutely love my job. Sounds a bit cliched, but that's true. I love my job. I love getting into work every single day. And at the moment, I am more focused on my product vision, making sure that all my stakeholders are on the same page, external and internal, which isn't as a cakewalk. Every day is a new day. Every day looks very different for me. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that I am not only enabling my teams to make those product decisions, but make sure that we do not astray along the way. Yes, sometimes you do need to pivot. You need to make decisions, difficult ones. You need to prioritize. And I make sure I take those decisions on behalf of my team. Of course, at the end of the day, I want to make sure that it works out for everyone. And if I want to put it in like one line, I would say that at the moment, I am taking care of all my products. I do, by the way, B2B and B2C both. And currently, my focus is more on B2B. I am currently in the process of launching a, how shall I say, without giving out all the information, I'm working in cybersecurity, and that's the first of mine. So I'm really excited about that. Hopefully, I'll get to let you guys know about it too. And I take care of more of the sustainable, scalable, and commercial side of things, at least right now in my career.
Got it. So that's like you working in multiple domains also. So it's not just you honing into one thing, because a lot of PMs do stick to one thing. So you will see them working in social media. So they will keep their jobs in social media. If someone is in e-commerce, they will stick to e-commerce. So it's also wonderful to know that you have decided to experiment with multiple things, because working in one domain kind of gets boring. I've also seen that. Yeah.
And
So okay,
besides,
so let's yeah, yeah,
no, no,
go
I
ahead.
was just adding to your thing that, it gets mundane and you don't get to, update your skills as well. How am I supposed to learn further, right? So I rather keep continuing discovering new products, and if I get the opportunity and I can make it happen, yeah, I would totally agree. It gets mundane and you don't get to update yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was the reason that I got into consulting also, because I get to explore a lot of new things, because every client will bring in a new problem from a new domain. So currently, if you ask me how cars are made, I can tell you. If you ask me how an e-commerce system works, I can tell you. If you ask me about the recruitment processes, so you name it, tech industry. So a lot of things I've also done on the way that gives you very, very in-depth domain knowledge, which is amazing, because you also learn how the business world and how the world actually functions. I'm right now engaged in a in a basically in a project that is around uh, your stock market. I never thought I would get into it, but that is something that's amazing to know. That
Wow.
also maybe kind of pushed me into the direction of started thinking about investing my money and investing something into the stock market to see how it functions. So absolutely. Let's ask you the question that is like the elephant in the room right now. uh, so how difficult it is to work as a product manager when you do not have a technology degree or when you do not code?
Okay, so if you want to hear the bottom line, yes, it is difficult. Who said it isn't? Anything that's worth fighting for is never is. So, yes, it is difficult. Having said that, I do not know how to code. I still do not know how to code 12 years down the line. And honestly speaking, I do not have any plans of learning how to code in the near future. I genuinely believe that my background or my interest, my innate passion for communication helped me a lot to get into product management and stick here. I've been making this point for quite some time now. And if you remember, I've had this conversation with Caterpillars and you guys before as well. Is that if you are in product management, you're basically into people's management. You're in people business, right? And when you meet so many different people and when you work across so many verticals, just as you mentioned, right? Sometimes how you talk to them, how you get your point across, how you are able to explain the requirement to your engineering team, how you are able to convince your executive stakeholders that no, this is not the right move at this very point. All of these things sometimes matter a whole lot more than a single degree. Now, with that being said, I am not here to, at any way, saying that an engineering degree or the ability to learn how to code is not important, or I'm trying to undermine it in any way, because it is. Believe me, it is. Sometimes when you get lost between a Python rail, ask me how that feels, right? So I know, okay, and I totally respect that. But yes, I think what made me keep going was the fact that I was constantly learning. You need to have a technical aptitude. A technical degree is not mandatory at all. But what you need to have is a technical aptitude. You need to be constantly updated. You need to know what's going on. You need to understand the basics of the stack that you're proposing to your client or the engineering team that you're hiring, because product managers recruit all the time, at least I do. I'm building teams all the time. You need to understand what's being released. For example, I'll give you an example. A few years before in Pakistan, everybody was talking about Flutter. Flutter was everywhere. Flutter was fluttering everywhere. And honestly, I did not know about the platform. I did not know how to use it. What I did, as simple as that. YouTube Zindabad, right? I would say you read, you constantly update yourself, and you make sure that you know what's going on in the market is what I give importance over a degree right now, at least in my career, and that I would say for others as well. Please do not feel that if you do not come from a computer science background, this is a no go area for you. This is definitely not true. If you have one, you have an edge. That I can promise you. It is an edge that I do not have right now. It is an edge that you will have if you have a computer science background, you have a technical background, you know how to code, you've done even a bunch of freelance works, projects. But it's not important at all. It was very difficult for me. Something that you see product managers, especially the ones who have a non-technical background, struggle with every single day, is the constant battle with their engineering teams. Whether we like to admit it or not, because we like to romanticize our field and glamorize the role, you will forever have that say in front of you. Oh, so do you know how to code this? Or हाँ तो आप कर लीजिए. So it's not like I'm here to say, oh my God, it was a cakewalk, it was all flowery, it was all great, never had that kind of interaction. No, it's not true. I did have that too. But then, as I said, coming back to my point, when you keep updating yourself, when you know what's going on in the market, when you have the answer, when you're on top of your project, when you have your correspondence with you, no engineer, no stakeholder can turn around and say that for yourself. I'd also say that please don't be scared about failures. If you fail a review or a QA process, or you were unable to understand a jargon or a terminology that your engineer used or a stakeholder suggested, don't feel bad about it. There's nothing wrong in that. What is wrong is that if you don't go back to your desk and you do not look it up, you do not read it, and you're not prepared for the next meeting or the next interaction. And what else did I face? Of course, there's a lot of prejudice when, unfortunately, let me play my female card. There's a lot of prejudice when it comes to a female product manager as well. I haven't worked outside, so maybe I cannot comment. Not, I do not have an educated, informed decision, but it has been a prejudice in the industry here. You just gotta hold your place. You gotta hold your head your high, and be prepared for the meeting. When you walk into the room, own the room. I think I've been able to do that because I've always been the kind of person who's on top of my things, who has her documentation ready. And since I love writing, nobody in this world loves creating documents as much as I do. All right. See, that's why we are friends. And love putting down every single thing and making sure every little detail is highlighted with a separate comment section and a separate recommendation appendix at the end of it. So I think these were the things that gave me the edge. I'm not saying I'm trying to cover up for the reason that, oh, you're compensating that you do not have a technical degree. But instead of focusing on what you don't have, make sure that you are up and about with what you have. At the very end, I would say sign up for courses. Please do that. I did that too. I have multiple and numerous certifications, whether it's public relations or agile delivery or project management or cost and calculation and project management. That's going to help you a lot. If you have spent 4 or 5 years in a university, you know your thing, you graduated, and circumstances are different for everyone, right? It's not as easy to say that go back. It's not always the case, right? Let's be honest about it. So take a lot of certifications. Do all those badges that you see on LinkedIn? They actually work, not only at your workplace, but for your next workplace as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. That documentation thing is also something that uh, helped me a lot, in the sense that I was able to communicate better. And another thing that is really important is because if everyone is going to code, who's going to listen to the users, who's going to listen to the stakeholders, who's going to think it through, who's going to look at the bigger picture. So tech is not only about writing code, it requires a lot of functions to make things that actually work. Otherwise, it's two engineers will sit down and write code. There's a reason that a lot of big tech hire a lot of product managers. You will see a lot of entry level product management courses and programs where you can get into an organization as an associate product manager, learn, and then get hired there. So the role is really really important. And in my so I do have a tech background. I can code if I want to, I do code, I get into code when I have to. But at the same time, I also know that the kind of work that I do, nobody else can do it in the team that I am, right? So my role is that important. And also, if you are someone who likes to document, who's organized, this is the role for you, because you will be reading a lot, organizing a lot of information, a lot of data, experiments, test results, analytics, lots of sheets, lots of slide decks, lots of documents, you name it. So if you like doing that, that's something that is really important. And also 100% agree with the courses. In the past 3 years, I've done around 36 of them. Every weekend, I spend 5 to 6 hours making sure that I spend that time. I think I've done all the master classes from product school. I am in the middle of doing a nano degree from University of Virginia on digital product management. So you name it, you have to do that, because otherwise you won't be able to charge big buck. And for someone like me who does consulting, you need those credentials. You need to show that you know something other than your work also. So the first impression is that people know that you are able to upgrade yourself and you know what you're talking about. So it's really important. uh, coming
Agree.
back to coming back to the human side of product management. So uh, what kind of core skills or human skills that are a must for a product manager or someone who wants to get into product management? What kind of personality traits do you think are really important?
Okay, so I completely agree with you with everything that you said, and I'm going to take one point from what you said only, that who's going to think of the bigger picture, who's going to talk to everyone. So this is a very important part of your day as a product manager. This is something that you have to do all your life, no matter what level you are in, right? You're always talking to people. You're making sure that everybody. Active listening is something that I give importance to a lot. This is something we talked about in Caterpillars as well. Hint, hint, folks. So it's very important that you listen to everyone. You might not always have something to say that they want to hear, but it's important that one of the things that you need to develop as a product person is that you need to make sure that you're not only listening to other people, but you're making sure that they know that they're being heard. So active listening is something I give importance to a lot on an every single day basis. And you have so many people who come from so many departments to you, and they have different kind of intentions for the product or the vision at end, right? So make sure that you are listening to them. And even if you're not able to give them a solution at this point, make them feel that they are not only being heard, but you are going to revisit this problem and deliver a solution in the future. You need to have empathy. You need to understand there are so many people working together on a single thing. There is bound to be conflict. It's not possible. It is not possible for humans to not have conflict when 10 people are working on the same table. It's impossible. So, have that compassion streak within you. Understand that you might be having a day, but your team member is also having a bad day. Sometimes you need to take a step back, you need to take a breather, and you need to tell them the same thing as well. Documentation and keeping on top of everything that we both agree with, it's something that's very important. You cannot survive, you cannot be a product manager or even a product leader or anybody on earth, if you want to be in this field, if you're not top of on your correspondence. Sometimes people will ask you the same question 3 times a day in 3 different sentences with 6 different intentions. And you know what? You got to answer them every single time. You cannot say that, I don't have an answer. or I don't have the time. You can, of course, if you're busy, you tell them, I'm going to get back to you. But you have to get back to them with an answer. And be always on top of your project status. Please. This is something that, in fact, I'm a little control freak about. I want my answers and I give out answers. At any point during the day, if any kind, external or internal stakeholder comes to me and has a question about a very specific point in my project, in my product, I have the answer for them. So, yes, you need to be extremely organized. Another thing that has helped me, this might not be a core human skill, but I genuinely believe that because I'm using it, it has to be, done with a human interaction. Know how product management or productivity tools work. They're going to help you. That skill that you are able to handle 10 different sheets and 10 different platforms, including 100 channels on Slack, the fact that you're organized and that you're able to navigate, that you know that this platform is for this particular goal, is also something that helps you a lot, a lot. Sign up for newsletters, please. Once again, it might not sound like a human core, innate skill, but please be reading all the time. Please be reading all the time. I think half the knowledge that I have today is because of all the self learning I did, or the courses I signed up for, or the newsletters that I'm signed to. That's very important. Be reading, be open, find a mentor. That's a top tip. If you guys want to take something from today, take this, please. Find someone who you click with. See, there are 10 mentors in product management, right? And all due respect to all 10 of them. But there's bound to be one that, you have this innate connection with without even, meeting them in person. You know that this is a person, this is the kind of spark, this is kind of the energy, this is the kind of enthusiasm, or this is what I aspire to be. Find a mentor and stick to them. Learn as much as you can. You are going to go a very, very long way. Finding a mentor also helps you how to not only navigate the industry itself, but also navigate the everyday, day-to-day challenges. Sometimes, you're completely blank. You have no idea how to get out of this problem. And a simple conversation of 2.5 minutes can get you out of the, sticky wicket. So find a mentor. What else? I think that's about it. These are the core ones that I would always recommend, or I always tell people that you need to have. And yeah, I guess that's it. Faiza, am I forgetting something?
No. So the next question that I have, by the way, we do have a lot of questions coming in.
Okay,
Uh,
fantastic.
we'll,
I'm right here.
we'll we'll get to them in a bit. So my next question is, again, we have already touched upon that how do we kind of think about our professional growth as a product manager, and we talked about reading, we talked about courses, we talked about newsletters. So and we also talked about having a mentor. So one question is from Ruj. I want to get it to it right now because she's asking that if there are any specific newsletters that you really enjoy reading that they can also take a look at.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, that's a very good question. First of all, my go-to is Medium. Medium rocks. Okay, so sign up, everyone. Please do that. A very specific thing that I want everyone to do right after they get off this chat. Free, quick, easy, and accessible. Join Twitter and follow the hashtag product management or product Twitter and or PRODMGMT, prod management, the short form. That's the quickest way. You get to meet people and find the links where you can sign up. No cost, nothing. Join product Twitter. If I am unable to romanticize and glamorize this industry for you, product Twitter will. If I cannot convince you, product Twitter will. Okay, so do that. Then join Medium, please. That's very, very important. Faiza also mentioned product school. The articles on product school are wonderful. Like, exactly amazing. They're out of this world. 12 years into product management, I sometimes still find the answer up at product school. That's so amazing. Those articles are amazing, and you don't even have to do anything about it. Another favorite community of mine is Atlassian. I'm an Atlassian lover. I'm a Jira enthusiast. Please do not send your hate to me. I think Jira rocks. I know Faiza doesn't agree with me. I know she's from the other end. I know that. So please, Atlassian, fantastic. Join Jira communities. They are amazing. You know, just like engineers have Overstack, we have Atlassian. That's what we have, right? And another great tip. Everybody can do this every Saturday night, easy, 30, 60 minutes. Go to youtube.com, and there are so many product creators online nowadays. It's amazing. You know what? I did not have all of this back in my day. 12 years ago, there wasn't any caterpillars. I couldn't find a mentor online. That is amazing to do that. Um, Product with Chloe, I think her name is. She's amazing on YouTube. Um, okay, what I'm going to do is that I am also going to make sure that right after this conversation, I'm going to send you guys a few links of all my favorite content creators. All right, so maybe it can help you guys to join the community. So, yes, please do all of that and sign up for Medium. Please
Yeah.
do that for me. Thank you.
So for me, I think product school is one of them. Second is um, Air Focus. So Air Focus is a product management tool. They push amazing content. I love their webinars. I make sure that I sign up for all of them and watch all of them. I have like a very, very giant notebook filled with the webinar notes here. So
Wow.
that's amazing. Then another one is Product Collective. You can go to their website, sign up there. Amazing content there. Um, so yeah, these are the newsletters and channels that I follow. uh, another amazing tip that I can give you is to basically start peer learning. If you are someone who's motivated by a peer, that's amazing to have a peer with you. uh, I'm not a person who would want a peer to kind of push myself, but I have seen it working really, really well, and I've seen it in product communities also, that a lot of people do a lot of peer learning sessions where they are working on a project together or doing mob sessions and stuff like that. So that is also an amazing way to go about it. Um, okay, so we have another question around that. Let's get into it. So another one is that um, is about courses and certifications that you would recommend people. So Mehak is asking that.
Okay. So honestly speaking, I've done a few with Scrum, and I have done many with Product School. So these are my two go-to options. And this is somewhere maybe you guys can hear me. Faiza can, highlight a few more platforms, because I've been able to manage Scrum and Product School. So these are the two platforms that are my go-to options. Simply because number one, they're very accessible. They're out there. They let the people know that this is happening, right? They're very out there, so I find them very accessible. I also have a certain problem at my end, which is a completely fault. I take full complete responsibility for that. Time management is something very important for me. I hardly have time over the weekends to do all of these things. So these two platforms do not offer that kind of stringent schedules that I won't be able to adhere to. So Scrum and Product School are definitely my go-tos. I'm currently in the process of doing a couple of courses with Google Garage and Google Guru, but that is more to do with digital and online marketing as well. But that is also a very good free platform to get access to these courses. I've just started doing that, so I won't be able to have an exact name for you people, but that's a very good platform that I've recently discovered or started sitting in for. And um, once again, I'm gonna wax lyrical about Jira and Atlassian. Go to atlassian.com, scroll down to the very end of the footer. There are resources that have direct links to courses. That is an amazing platform. People do not know about that. Go to the footer, go to resources, and open individual topics, and they're going to link it to individual courses. That is an amazing insight pro tip for you people.
So yeah, absolutely. Google Garage is amazing. If you want to do some courses that will help you as a product manager or as an aspiring product manager both, One is Techstars Toolkit. So it is for entrepreneurs basically, but it gives you a lot of insights into how product managers think when it comes to solving problems. Number two is basically the digital product management course at Coursera by University of Virginia. Amazing course. Product school is there for you. You will see a lot of information available on product management festival. They have an amazing YouTube channel. You will find a lot of discussions there also, and basic topics also. And another thing that we are doing, so the reason that Ifra
I
and
was
I are
about to say
here
the
is,
same.
so we have built a course for you also, and it's not just a course. It's not something that you come and watch videos and get out of there. uh, we also have in our slang term a danda on you, and it's a blended program. So it has a schedule, it has success coaches, it has assignments, it has deliverables. And we are going to bound you for 12 weeks and make sure that once you get out of the program, you can apply to a product management job and you can nail an interview. So we'll teach you how to do that. We'll teach you basics of tech. So if you're not from tech, we'll teach you tech fundamentals. We will teach you what a product mindset is. We'll talk about development process. We'll talk about a lot of things in that. It has 6 modules. We do have a lot of registrations, by the way. We don't have a lot of spots available. We only want to make like a smaller cohort because we need to make sure that every single person gets a success coach. Ifra is one of the success coaches. I am one of the success coaches. Usman is one of the success coaches. So if you want to actually learn product management and you do not have that kind of discipline or bandwidth to just sit in front of a computer and just watch videos and learn on your own, and you're looking for a community to learn together, if you are looking for a mentor or a coach to help you, then I think that would be something for you. We
I
have
do
put,
want.
yeah, yeah.
Faiza, I just want to add one more thing. I'm so sorry I'm cutting you off. So back then, I did not know what Coursera was, or I did not have access to product school, and I did not find mentors easily. Product Twitter in Pakistan wasn't huge as it is today. So this course is genuinely, I became a part of this entire track because I know back then I did not have access to such things. So this course is made from someone just like you people are feeling right now for you guys. So just have a look. And this is the best thing that you can do to start a career in product management. Go ahead, please, Faiza.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason that we want to do it is to make it accessible. So there are a lot of free courses available. Product School is amazing, but if you want to get into their live program or their blended program, it's insanely expensive. When we talk about nano degrees, so it's around 800 to $1,000 or something, sometimes even more than that. So I basically am in like a back and forth love and hate relationship with Product School. I keep on emailing Carlos that it's very expensive. It's $5,000. I cannot afford it right now. I hope he's not watching me right now. He and I are just on email threads all the time. So yeah, it's expensive, and we wanted to make sure that we can make it accessible. And because the idea is for to get women into the program, Caterpillars is currently women only, so it's important for us to make sure that the price point is low enough for women to just get into it without thinking about it. So um, so that is really important. And also, when you apply for an entry level product job, they do give you samples to work on. They do give you like an assessment or an assignment, which is pretty common. Even as a consultant, when I apply for a project, they do ask me to take a look at something, give them some feedback, something to work on. So we will make sure that those aspects are also covered in the program, so that you are able to do really well on an interview. And I don't know if I've ever mentioned that, but I've ghost written a book on nailing product interviews. I cannot tell you the name of the book because I've ghost written it again, taken a lot of money from the person to write it. But I can give you a lot of practice questions and things that you can do to nail, interviews in big tech. So that's really, really important that you know estimation questions, that you know strategy questions, that you know pricing questions and stuff like that. So it's really important, and we'll make sure that whatever we know, we just give it all to you so that you are able to really, really uh, start your career and think about going ahead in product management. um, Ifra, so where to start? We have told them that they can come to Caterpillars and register with the program to start. But if they don't want to come to Caterpillars, for example, for whatever reason, uh, what will be the first step for them if someone wants to get into product?
I think this first step is that you need to ask yourself if you really want to do this. At the end of the day, as I keep saying that, this is a very glamorous role and, product managers tend to romanticize this a lot. It's not an easy job, Faiza. There are no hours, there are no time zones, um, there are no weekends, no such thing as weekends. You cannot stick here if you do not constantly update yourself. You have a million people who come to you for answers. um, at the end of the day, it's your fault if something goes wrong. It's only your fault, right? It is not an easy job. So I think the first step is you sit down, have a conversation with yourself, and you ask yourself, do you really want to do this? This is something that takes a lot from you. It's not a regular 9 to 5. I'm sure other careers come with their own challenges and responsibilities, but this is not a 9 to 5, not a conventional 9 to 5. And you need to ask yourself if you're ready for this world. And then the first thing that I should have done back then was to make sure that I am ready for the people I'm going to meet for this industry. Um, as much as I hate to say this on an international stream, just like any other career, just like any other industry, there are groups, there are lobbies, and there are circles. And you need to be not a part of them per se, but you need to know your ins and outs of how to navigate through the industry. It's not necessary that okay, आज मैंने ये देखा, I saw this ad और ये product का है, entry level है, ज़्यादा नहीं मांग रहा है, I should go for it. You need to understand what the job entails and whether this product or this vertical or this industry is something that you want to talk about, or you want to work in. Get a hold of few people, talk to them. Before you go in for an interview, find out about the industry. I keep coming back to that very same point that please read, brush up on what this industry entails, what the company is like, what vertical you're applying for. That is something that's very important, and you should start reading from day one. Find the right people, talk to a few people before you jump in to make this decision. Find out if you would like to specific yourself to a particular industry. You want to be, you're comfortable in that industry, and maybe that industry actually you have prior education in that industry. You have some kind of background relevant connection with that vertical or region. Then of course sign, now this looks that we are having this sales desk conversation, but yeah, you have to, at the end of the day, you have to find out where brush up your basics or want to learn the basic skills and everything. I'm someone who gives importance to a lot of ABCs. You can dress up well, you can read up the latest what's going on in the buzz, and somebody in the interview is going to say, what are you working on nowadays, or what are you reading on nowadays? But it all comes down to the fact that when you take your first place, when you're on your job on the very first day, one basic term, one basic terminology, one basic sentence is going to blank you out. So please give importance to basics. Know that not everything can be done out in the street. There is a term that we have in our country here that market में बैठे तो सब आ जाता है. Market में बैठने से सब नहीं आता. It's not like that. Give importance to your education and your basics, and find a person. Once again, find your person.
Absolutely. So my questions are done. We have a lot
Okay.
of questions. Let's go through them
Okay.
very, very quickly because we have
Let's do
like nine,
this.
10 minutes left. So
Okay.
Munira is asking that would love to know about mistakes you have made in your career path and a common lesson you have learned from them.
Okay, the biggest mistake that I ever do, and I still do it, by the way. Sometimes I let emotions get the best of me. Sometimes when it gets overwhelming, when I have 1,000 people, here and there on top of my head. Sometimes I let it go to my head. So that's something that you have to manage. Remember the core skills that we were talking about. Don't let it will happen. It's very normal. Do not freak out. Just take a step back and breathe. Just do that. Do not reply in a haze. That's one of the mistakes that I did, and I learned very big lessons from that. Do not reply in haste. If you do not have an answer, please tell them. You're going to get back to them accordingly. Go back, think, reflect, and then answer. Number two, expecting. I did this in the beginning of my career. I think I learned it along the way. Do not expect that if you know the answer, or if you know how it's done, or if you know what needs to be done, the person across the table also has that same level of understanding. Please come down to their level, and or reach try to go up to their level and communicate on in a language that is very simple and that you both understand. And last but not the least, I would say that especially when you're building teams, if you're in a product leadership role, you need to understand that everybody is coming from a different background. You have your processes and you have your SOPs. All hails to that. I know I'm a process person. I create guardrails and I expect my teams to follow them. You need to be flexible, you need to be open yourself, and you need to make sure that you give your teams the due time to shape themselves into their processes. This is something that I learned along the way, that just because I made a process doesn't make it fit right. And pivot. Please pivot. You see something is not working out, be open about it. No ego problems, no leadership problems, no calling out names, no blame games. Pivot. Tweak it as to how it's working best for your team.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agreed with what you said. That's the wisdom that we get after a lot of failures and a lot of crap happened to us. Yeah, and being able to kind of hold yourself back in situations and places where you have to have very crucial conversations about when things are not working out, when there are quality issues, when there are issues with the business model, when we are targeting the incorrect market. These conversations are really crucial, and you need to be really in control of yourself to have those conversations and make sure that the message has been put across properly. Next question is from Mehak. Courses and certifications that help you. We have already answered that. Product School, Coursera, Atlassian communities. These are the places that you go. Munira is asking the same questions. Same answer for you. Hina is asking, product management has a compulsion to work on site or can be done remotely.
Oh.
What do you think?
Um, I'm trying to be as impartial as I can in this for this answer. I totally think that the world has realized, and we should admit it as well. The world can run remote, right? You can do this in a remote situation as well. But having said that, because I believe meeting your teams, interacting with them, knowing, feeling them out, how they are feeling today, letting your stakeholders that everything is going okay, relax, all's well, letting your customers know that they're being heard. All of these things require interaction. So, okay, how shall I say this? I believe that this is a job where at least first try to interact with people and be a part of that place. I think that's at least in the beginning. That's my point of view. That you understand who you're working with, who you're working for, how, feel the space out, feel the environment out. But then it can be done from any place on earth. And, Faiza is a better example for this. You can do it for 1 million people from anywhere anywhere in the world, and you make all the extra cash on the
Yeah,
side.
absolutely. Absolutely. And I 100% agree that you need to know your team like the back of your hand, like your own kids, like your own pets, whatever you say, right? So you need to know them really well, and for that, doing it remote is difficult. You need to put in extra effort to knowing people remotely, because people don't open up easily when they are remote. When you are sitting in the same office, it's easier. So it can be done in a hybrid way. Currently at Genetech, I'm working with the team. So 2 days I go to office, 3 days I'm working from home. You can build a setting like that also. So a hybrid would really work well. uh, Next is Uruj is asking newsletters. You've already told you that, Uruj. um, okay. And people are reminding you to send them the list and the links that you promised, so
I'm
please
gonna
do
I'm gonna
that.
tweet all my favorite content creators. I give you my word.
Okay. So find Ifrah on Twitter at Ifrah Waqar, correct, Ifrah?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, great. So Zainab is asking, hello ladies, I'm new to software industry and managing a team of designers. I need to understand how to streamline their task and everything. Ifrah, any
Oh my,
advice on that?
my favorite topic in the entire industry. I'm a productivity tool junkie, and the best way, your point of rule of thumb should be that everybody is on the same page. That's the rule of thumb for any productivity tool or your problem at hand, right? Everybody needs to be on the same page. There needs to be transparency. You need to be able to track everyone's performance or their delivery, and you need to make sure there are no blame games, right? Productivity tools are my go-to tip for you. Go for platforms like, for example, if a digital marketer would come to me, I would say something like monday.com, right? For a designer, I would definitely say that, try joining, try bringing in your teams to platforms like Miro or Figma. So you always use, but Miro and retrospective for design teams is really really good. These two are my top productivity tools for people if you are managing design teams. Miro, you can find it easily online, and retrospective. These two tools are my go-to. And if all fails, you don't want to spend anything, you don't want to get into additional things, and even teams will feel like, oh my god, somebody is now keeping an eye on us, because that's also something that you struggle with as a product manager. You're not directly, nobody directly reports to you, but you're making sure that you're making running everyone, right? So you're responsible for that. So my top productivity tool for everyone on earth is Trello. It's free, it's easy, it's easy on the eyes, it's easy to track, and people will love showing off their work online. Go to Trello.com today.
Yeah, absolutely. So Trello, Asana, Basecamp, whatever you want to use, go ahead. There are a million tools. Monday.com I have not used. I've used ClickUp. It's also good. Make sure that your team likes it. It's not about your liking. Make sure that they like it. And at the end of the day, if you know how to work Excel, nothing beats that. If you know how to work Excel. So for my team, for my content team at Genetech, I have built a dashboard on Google Sheets. Nothing fancy, no formulas, nothing at all. Just week by week deliverables and their statuses. We meet every day and then make sure that everything is aligned and everybody know what they're supposed to do this week. So if you have teams where work is not constantly changing, then Google Sheets is also going to work. But if the work is constantly changing, then definitely Trello or Asana or ClickUp or Monday, whatever you find that works for you. So Mariam Mubin is asking that what are the some resources that could help us start working on a problem of our own to show for while pitching for a product management role. So if somebody wants to build a portfolio or show their acumen as a new product manager, what they're supposed to do.
Okay, so I can answer this with my own example, maybe, because this is how I do it, honestly. So if I have to show up for something, or if I have to, put it into my portfolio, I pick a real world problem, a project, or a problem that was actually narrated out loud by a platform or a company or a business. You can also come up with hypothetically, but coming up with a problem hypothetically has its separate challenges. So I like to make it easy for myself. Pick a problem that already exists, that's already out there in the world. I make it easy for myself. Pick a problem that's already out there, read about it, find out. Of course, you need to investigate. You need to be basically a detective. You're a part detective if you're a product manager, right? Maybe that's where my love of mysteries comes along. Investigate, find the root causes, right? And present a hypothetical solution. Now, this is the part where you do it, how you do it. Now, you're asking me as to where I can get the solutions from, right? Is that the question, Faiza? Is she asking us How we find the solution?
No, she's saying that how do I find a problem that I can work on and then show as show as my portfolio item for a new job.
Once again, find communities. There are people every single day who are coming up with problems that are varied in scale, right? Find communities. Every product manager is venting out on Twitter. Follow content creators, which I'll tell you who to follow. They are venting out with 1,000 problems every single day. People went to us, we went out on Twitter, right? Follow Twitter. Follow communities. That's where you find the biggest problems. Every day they're updated, every brand. And also Facebook groups, by the way. If you need to find a problem, Facebook groups are the best thing on earth. They are filled with problems, no solutions. Find a problem for there and go through the comments, by the way. The comment section of Quora, Reddit, and Facebook groups are a wealth of knowledge. Don't forget to go through this stream and screen the comment section.
Yeah, gold mine of ideas also. And one of my favorite product management communities on Facebook is Women in Product. I am not active there, but I just go there and read people that what women are talking about there. That's an amazing community. Uh, so Munira is asking, are there resources that help you find ideas on building new features? How do you excel in that?
Okay. Um, I basically research a lot. Research is a very big part of your day. I spend half of my day going through competition. I spend half of my day on Product Hunt. Product Hunt is a fabulous platform. You find products releasing there every single day. It's on. You can easily find the website. I'll put the link in my tweet as well, and you can follow them on Twitter as well. Product Hunt is my go-to platform because it tells me what's happening out there in the world, who's creating what for what problem. Every day there's a new launch, there is a new release. Sometimes I find my answers for my problems on Product Hunt. Um, Despite the fact that I am not active on that platform, but Product TikTok or Product Talk is huge. It's monumental right now, and you find answers there. For example, just last night I found that there is a website called magiceraser.io. All right, maybe it has nothing to do with you people. It magically erases anything from your image with nothing to do. No trace, no Photoshop, no Illustrator.
Oh,
And
that's
it's
great.
a gem for product managers because we have to take 1,000 screenshots. We have to tell them, oh, this should look like this should like this, or don't do this, don't do that here, right? So Product Talk, yes, it's very big. And communities, of course, that's where you go for. And what else? Product Hunt is something that's very important. Also, start once again I would say that start joining communities on Instagram and Twitter, because all the content creators that I'm going to share with you people have answers on an every single day basis for these problems. And I research a lot. I look at 10 different competition. um, I look at 20 website. My browsers are always hanging because I have like 100 tabs open at the same time, right? Sometimes the padding of a button for me to decide how I want to go further in the padding is when I look at 10 different tabs in 10 different websites. You have to have patience. Please have patience for this process, because you need to do your research. If you're expecting I'm going to tell you one resource platform and you go there and you find all your answers, that's impossible. Even if somebody comes along in this community, I'm not going to accept that. You have to research, you have to dig deep, and something that we product managers love doing, A/B testing. You don't always are sure of the answer that you're proposing. You can never be sure of that. You can never say, oh, this is going to work 110%. Test it and pivot. Test it and then pivot. That's my motto.
Absolutely. And for me, the best part of my work is user interviews. I love doing them. I love them so much. So user testing sessions I've done, like, I don't know, I have lost count of the number of times I've done user testing sessions. So uh, you will actually learn about people, how people think, how people interact with the product, what is going through their mind, what are they feeling. It's so amazing. And if you once start to kind of understand these things, if you start to understand humans, because you're building products for humans, right? So
Yes.
it's going to really help you in your career. um, a couple of more questions. So, Rahima is saying, sounds more like an HR job. At the end of the day, you are responsible for everything that goes wrong.
I'm inclined to agree.
Right. What can I say? I don't know.
No
so,
comments.
yeah, no comments. Sarah is saying, brilliant session, Faiza and Ifrah. Thank you so much, Sarah. Henna is asking, if it's not easy, is it worthy? I would say 100%. 100%.
110%. At the end of the day, when you deliver your product, and even if you don't get a pat on the back when you see it live, oh my God, that thing beats everything. When you see it live, Faiza said that she loves doing user interviews because you get to learn about how product problems are for real life people. When I see a customer coming back to my support desk and leaving a comment, thank you for this, or this works great, or thank you, this worked, that is so worth it. That is so worth it. When you build something internally as well, when you see three team members of yours using that little feature or that little function that you have developed, it is so damn worth it. It's amazing. As I
It
said, I
is.
love going into my work every day, and I love coming back. I'm exhausted. I sleep like a dead log, like a dead cat or something. It's so worth it. It's amazing. You help build this. Think about it. Let's say, for example, you're part of Skype. I'm going to say Skype. You help build something that 110 million people are using every single day to interact with their loved ones, with their people at work, with their significant other. That is amazing. That blows my head. Salute to engineers, salute to stakeholders, salute to entrepreneurs. But come on, product managers help solve real world problems. 110% worth it.
Absolutely. I 100% agree, because even a small kind of problem that you've solved for someone that is making somebody's life better, it's an amazing feeling. And also, my personal opinion is that it also makes you a better person, because you have to improve a lot of your human skills. So you become patient, you become a good listener, you are able to work better with people. So I think a lot of my both personal and professional growth came from this profession, because I was able to work better with teams. So that's amazing. Yeah, so Munira is saying, thank you so much, Faiza and Ifra, for the amazing session. Loved hearing from you, and definitely helpful. You guys are always welcome.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ifra. We are at the end of the session. Just wanted to plug in again that Ifra, Usman, and I are teaching a blended program on product management. It's 12 weeks long, uh, and we have built it from scratch for all of you, to make sure that people who are new to tech, new to product management, can also learn from it. It is a tough program. You will need time commitment. You will need actual commitment for a certain number of hours every week. So I would say 6 to 8 hours every week is what you will need to excel in that program. It is blended, so some part is on demand, some part is basically live, so you need to be there. uh, the program, currently right now, I have an early bird discount for anyone who signs up till 17th of November. So you can sign up, go to the link caterpillars.com/product dash management. Take a look there. After 17th of November, we are going to make it to the full price, and if you are in Pakistan, it is highly subsidized for you. If you're outside of Pakistan, I'm sorry, but it is a little bit expensive for you. But at the same time, it's not as expensive as anything you have bought around product management. So we wanted to make sure that women in Pakistan have cheaper access to education and career acceleration things. So Please take a look at there. And if anything you want to add at the end, please.
Yes, I would definitely like to add a few things. Thank you so much for having me, Faiza. This was so much fun. I don't think that you and I have had such a conversation in a very long time. Thank you so much for having. And yes, please sign up. Back then, when I started in product management, forget about not having something like that. I didn't even have the resources to apply for something like that. I know that I ended up doing my certifications after a certain point in my career when I knew that I could afford this. And this program is very accessible in comparison to what I see online, or what maybe Faiza and I did a couple of years ago is far more, affordable. You wouldn't have to like, I remember I saved up for a year when I did my first certification. Imagine that. I couldn't do it just like that out of the blue. So please do that. And if you enjoyed this conversation, if you enjoyed seeing me and Faiza, vent out our love of all things product, then this is the best thing. This is the best next step. If you enjoyed this conversation, I can assure you that you're going to enjoy the program. And one best thing that I want to divulge about the program, I hope Faiza and Hira do not kill me for this. The program itself, the courses are just not lessons, right? It's just not something that you just see online and do and make notes and apply. It's very interactive, and there is like the whole assignment and project aspect is so much fun. We had a lot of questions today as to how we find a problem, or how we resolve a problem, or where do you get your answers from. Those projects are so interactive. You're going to get your first on hand experience for such a thing. You guys were asking us like as to how we do it. This is your best next bet. You get to put your hands on desk, and you get to actually try out things like this. So sign up. The link is down below in the description box, and I'll make sure that I also have an additional tweet for you guys to sign up, and I will see you. And there is a module or two by myself, so hope to see you there.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ifra.
Thank
We are
you.
going to put your Twitter in the comment section below so that people can follow you also and interact with you and ask you questions. And you can definitely share the resources. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. We
Thank
hope
you.
to see you in the program. Bye.
Yes. Bye, everyone. Have a nice
Bye.
day. Happy weekend.